Have you been feeling lately sadness just appearing out of nowhere, not because something bad happens to you, but it's just there? Sometimes the feeling of depression, not wanting to do anything, not being in the mood for anything, just all these mood swings that do not seem to have to do anything with what's happening in your daily life. Yet it's there and it comes and goes. And you may even see it in others. So in this video, I will elaborate on what's really happening and what to do when it happens, how to deal with it, and how you can prevent it or at least reduce it. So without further ado, let's do this. Like, subscribe, and share. Hi, my name is Lotfimrad, and I have personally been experiencing lately moments of deep sadness, moments of depression, um, sometimes not even wanting to be here anymore, not wanting to live because it doesn't make sense. Why do an effort on this thing while most people are running into the opposite direction, while people are literally burning down the planet, hence the picture. And then suddenly it's gone again. But I do notice it. And probably that's why it's gone, because I observe and then I allow it to be. I do not try all the time to understand it. Sometimes I can sense where it's coming from, what is causing it, or at least what is partially causing it. Because it's not just what we see. It's not because I see things on YouTube or I hear stories from people or people send me pictures or tell me something horrible that's happening in the world. I mean, I often have been talking about how to zoom out, see the bigger picture, and then everything makes sense. That all the horror that's happening now and the acceleration, the increase of it, the increase of the number of instances, but also the intensity of each of the happenings is part of the fight between dark and light, the old energy trying to survive, which is the energy of fear, domination, suppression, um, silencing, um, censoring, where the new energy is the energy of community, communion, love, cooperation, building, rebuilding, renewing, transforming into something better, so upgrading. But we're going through a phase on planet Earth where all of this is happening and two sides are clashing. And when I say two sides, I don't mean left and right are, or this party and that political party. I mean, all those political parties, I mean, 99% of all the political parties on earth are just about people who want power and do not care about you. They just care about them being re-elected and filling their pockets or boosting their egos. That's why I decided not to go into politics. Although when I was young, I wanted, because I wanted to make a difference in the world, I wanted to change things. But then I realized like, it would be such a snake pit, also full of rats and cockroaches. And I would have to strike deals with them. I was like, no, 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 I'm not doing any concessions to these people. I'm not gonna compromise what I believe in. So I chose a different path, a path where I choose what I do when I choose to do it. It hasn't been always easy. It still isn't always easy, but at least I stand in my integrity. even if it's really difficult sometimes, even when people are really pushing me to do something and like really trying to convince me it is the only way for me to survive. And yes, sometimes I fall for it, but as soon as I realize I'm like, okay, I need to get out of this. This is not in alignment with me, with who I am, with who I want to be, with what I want in my life, in my future, for me, for my family, for my friends, for my community. And so all of this is happening at the same time, and it's putting pressure on us. And if you really pay attention, when you see people talking, and I'm not the only one talking on YouTube, there are many. And there are these people that we look up to because, oh, they have a big following, they have a million or multiple millions of followers, or at least thousands of tens of thousands of followers, and they seem like they have everything figured out. Well, they do not. You didn't, I didn't, they didn't. It's just that they choose to focus on what they really want in their lives. Just like I do that when I sit down in front of my camera and decide to record a video. Then I do not care about what's happening or what's being expected from me. I am in the here and now, focused on what I really want in this world, how I want to contribute to a better world. I do it also when I do work for the NGO, the food bank that I do a lot of work for many years now, since 2020. But despite all of that, despite all of my experience, I mean, in 2007, I started very consciously focusing on increasing my energy levels, on focusing on my well-being, and still I do have trouble sometimes to deal with everything that's happening. And thank God I started back then, because the people who didn't start years ago, or even a decade ago, or in my case, 2 decades ago, you're screwed. I mean, these people are screwed. If you're watching this, you're probably not screwed. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching me. You would be just emptying another bottle or sniffing another line. Because if you haven't been working on yourself, dealing with all the crap that's happening would be virtually impossible. That's why you see so many people going into extremes in their lives, numbing themselves mainly, running away from reality. And yes, I also do sometimes numb myself by watching a movie or some series which is light, where I know the good guys will win, the bad guys will lose, and happy ending. Yes, it helps me to relax. Just like a nice walk in nature helps me to relax, or playing with my 3-year-old helps me relax. Not all the time, but more often than not. Also because it's new for me. So it takes time to learn to appreciate things, to deal with all the stubbornness and the strong will. So all that's happening, and you know this from science already, everything is energy. And we know this from quantum physics, everything is connected. So if there's a war going on in the Middle East, wherever we are on the planet, we will feel that energy. We will feel the energy that there is two big wars going on at this moment. And these two big that are talked about, really. But there are many smaller wars going on. There are people being killed, raped everywhere around the globe. Also in your city. There are children being abducted, sexually abused, sold as sex slaves, or for sacrifices. everywhere, especially in the West, in the civilized world. Yeah, yeah. And you know it. Hey, hence the Epstein files. But okay, I digress. So, what can you do not to lose half a day? Because there's another wave. I know, but the planet and the sun, they also have the energy waves going and going, all in conjunction with what's happening on planet Earth. Solar activity, when it's high, there's a lot of aggression on Earth. This has been measured throughout centuries already. I mean, as long as we know about the cycle of the sun, we can actually predict exactly when there will be a lot of crap happening on Earth. So when this happens, when we're being blasted by solar flares, or just by the Schumann resonance on Earth, or by what's happening, then the best way to deal with it is first to stop. Stop doing whatever you're doing. And if you're driving, just try to get to the side of the road or to a parking lot and just stop. And start by taking a few deep breaths. In through the nose, holding your breath for a second or two, and then exhale through the mouth. Hold your breath for a second or two again, and then start over again. And make that noise. Make any kind of noise when you release. Make the movement of releasing. This is the first thing you can do in the moment. You can also take a moment to observe what is it I'm truly feeling? Which one of the energies is it? And then take a moment to look around. Is this something that I'm experiencing personally in my reality now? Is it happening to me, to somebody I know? Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe you have family in an area where the shit is being bombed out of them. So yeah, take a moment to send love to those that you care about, or even to people you do not know. And then when you feel like, okay, I gave it the attention it deserves because it's asking for attention. It needs to be acknowledged. You need to acknowledge that this is happening. Running away from it and say, ah, no, no, I don't see it. So if I don't see it, does it exist? That's not true. It is happening on planet Earth now. And part of really developing yourself spiritually is to be in the here and now, also in the physical body, to acknowledge what you're feeling, to acknowledge what is happening, and not try to bypass it spiritually, because it will come to catch up with you. And then you can go ground, physically or energetically, or preferably both. You can stand bare feet somewhere on Mother Nature, so not on concrete, and do it. If you can touch with your hands a tree, do it. If you cannot, do it energetically. You can close your eyes and visualize that your roots are growing out of your feet and going into Earth, into Mother Earth, and connect. And you can start to release the tension in your body and absorb new, fresh energy. I have recorded several videos and audios on doing this kind of meditations. You'll see the link in the description, and on that page you see the different kinds depending on what it is you want to achieve. Second thing I recommend you to do is to look around you and who else is in your reality that you can team up with. You can team up to do these meditations, to share what you're dealing with, to talk about what's happening, or to build something. When I say to build something, you building something can be like joining a food bank, like what am I doing, and then help people. You build a community, you build or you help contribute to building a better life for people who do not need to worry about having enough to eat, to feed their children or their elderly parents. You're doing something constructive. It can also be another type of volunteering that you will be doing. Choose what resonates with you, and each and every one of us has something to offer. Just be open to it. Hey, if you cannot come up with what you could be doing, use an IE for it. Ask an IE to ask you questions and to keep digging and ask follow-up questions to help guide you to what you could be doing for charity, or maybe even that kind of work with your abilities and something that will resonate with you, not just with your abilities, but also with what feeds your soul and that contributes to a better world. AIs are good at this. ChatGPT or Gemini, you can ask them to keep digging and to help you get to the root of what you really want to know. And if you keep asking the questions, you will actually get your authentic answers, not them telling you what to do. You will discover what it is you want. If you do not feel like working with an IE, or you prefer to have a good talk with someone about what it is that you're feeling, because maybe it's really affecting you and it's really strong and you're not confident that doing some meditations or listening to some videos of mine will help you, then contact me. I can help you in different ways. I'm an intuitive. I can channel for you your higher self to get answers to questions you have, to dig deeper in who you truly are, what you're meant to be doing here, at least in this moment. You may not get the answer what you're meant to do in 10 years from now, because to get there, you need first to do what you're supposed to do now and evolve and learn and grow, and then you can do the next things. If you have people in one of those affected areas, I can help you too, to learn how to deal with this, how to live with this, with a constant insecurity, I would say, or the not knowing if there will be a life tomorrow. If you feel guilty that you're not with them in the shit show, in the hell zone. Maybe you're a refugee who left the country and you feel guilty for leaving them behind, but they didn't want to come or they could not. Or they actually kicked you out of the country, said, you go and you have a better life. I mean, then especially you need to do that because they pushed you. Maybe they even gave you everything they had so that you could go. And then to honor them, you should not stagnate. You should actually do what they asked you, what you agreed to. You cannot support people when you're a mess, when you're as deep in the shit as they are, even from a distance. For somebody to be able to lean on you, you need to be strong. So you need to take very good care of yourself. Only then you can support others. That's something I learned the hard way. And many people are learning that today. And some people still refuse because we were taught you need to sacrifice yourself, you need to suffer, and then you'll be good. Yeah, that is what the elite wants you to believe because that's how they can control you. That's how they can keep you small. I spent a whole year working with refugees, teaching them this. And many of them transformed their lives. Yes, they still have loved ones over there, but they transformed their lives. Some picked up studying again, some picked up dancing again because they were not allowed to dance. Their partner didn't like it or something like that, or they were not having the ability, but now they could dance again. They could express themselves, so they could release their tension, experience joy again, and from there they could start to build a better life. There are so many things that people have done. And I'm proud that I could help them realize that, help them even start just thinking about it, considering it as a possibility, maybe a far out possibility. That's how it started. Some theory. And slowly started to realize like, hey, it's actually possible. And then saw somebody taking that first step and like, oh, how is that? Yeah, well, okay, maybe I should too. So what are you waiting for? Ask for help if you need help. That's what the smart people do. That's what the success people do. Successful people, they all have asked for help with things they were not good at or they did not know how to do. Asking for help can be picking up a book, can be asking an IE, but it can also be talking with someone, with a mentor, with a guide, with a channeler. There are different ways of doing it. So take action. Start improving the quality of your life. And at the same time, start making a difference, not just in your life, but in the life of others. By doing something you love to do, something you believe in. Looking forward to hearing from you what it is that you're already doing, what it is that you tried, or what it is you would like to do. And also if you need help. Let me be there for you. Let us take those first steps together. Let me give you that push that you need. Have a wonderful day. Like, subscribe, and share.